Hey friends, so today we are going to be doing just a little bit of a repotting with me. I had I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants here that need to be repotted. So let's get into it. All right, so first up, I am going to just pull this one because it's closest to me. So this is my oxalis triangular oxalis. This thing has been growing like crazy for me and I absolutely adore her. Since she's been growing so much, I do want to up pot her. So I am just going to up pot her by about 1 inch. So whenever you up pot, you want to only go like 1 to 2 inch maximum increase on the circumference size. Now this one does have some old dirt in it, so what I'm going to do is I have a solution here. This is half water, half hydrogen peroxide. I am just going to spray this towel here and I'm going to wipe out the center of it. What this is going to do is if there's any bacteria in here that was left over from the last plant, it's going to kill it. So I'm just gonna wipe it out really quick. You always want to make sure you're using a clean towel when you do this, by the way. And this is just a paper towel. All right. So we are good to go. If you want, you can spritz the inside of it just for good measure. If you want, I am going to use a pre-mixed potting mixture that I make myself. This is, I've talked about it before. So if you want to know for sure what's in my potting mixture, just let me know and I will let you know in the comments, but it is mentioned in I think all of my other videos. So I am just going to take this Dixie cup that I got a plant in one time. It's a little bit too much. So I fill it up. Hold on. Yeah, so I just want it to be so that way the top of the plant is going to be towards the top. So I'm going to take out a little bit more. So that's about as much as in there. It's a little less than half. And I am going to squeeze the sides of this to loosen it up. And then I'm gently going to pull it out. So as you can see, this was definitely ready to be repotted. So the roots are coming out the bottom of the cup. So we're just going to plop her in there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to backfill it. So I'm going to take some more dirt. I'm just going to hold this on here. I don't want to disturb the root system so much because this is a more delicate plant. And I don't want to piss her off essentially. And she seemed pretty happy in the root mix or in the potting medium that she was in. So, all right, so my oxalis triangularis, I believe it's what it's called. If not, I will throw the correct name on the screen. I know it's an oxalis. Oh my God. My kid just picked a vegetable out of my garden and he's screaming, I got it. Hold on. What'd you get?
I got it.
Oh, did you get a cucumber? Did you get that? Can you say cucumber? Hey, can you say cucumber? No, you got it? Okay, no more. Can you leave? Don't pick any more. We don't need any more, okay?
More.
No. No more.
No.
No. No. Where? No. Dean. No. Stay away from my garden. Go play with Hank. Get the ball. Stay away from my garden. Rotten child. This child is absolutely rotten. Absolutely rotten. All right, so she is done. She's been potted. She does need some water, so I will be watering her later. All right, so next up, I want to repot a Hoya. So this is a Hoya Crimson Queen, I believe, or it's a variegated Chelsea. I don't really know. But she's in desperate need of water for one. Like I always say make sure you can do this with the bottom leaf to be able to, before you water. So again, like I said before, I'm just going to take this dirt mixture like that. Boom. Just lost another leaf. Pull it out, baby. Good job. All right, so this desperately needs watered. So we're just going to lightly pat. And it just needs a little bit more soil, so you do not want your Hoya to get to the point where it's dropping leaves because you forgot to water it, aka me. So that's that. So this actually has a chunk of the stem on it, so I'm just gonna try something, and I want to stick the leaves in here to see if I can promote it to grow again. This actually is an aerial root, so this one probably has a better chance of it. But I mean, worst case scenario is that it doesn't work and I can just pull them out later. But yeah, look at this new leaf coming in right there, and it's got some pink leaves coming in. I see the pink around it, so pretty. The leaves are coming in this darker color, and then they'll be green, and they have a pink rim around them. So to me, it looks like this stem has completely reverted into just a regular carnosa, which is fine. Ooh, it does have one stem that has some color left in it. If I really wanted to, what I can do is actually, yeah, I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna take a pair of my gardening scissors. What's wrong, baby? What? So I'm gonna take my gardening scissors, and I am just going to clip below the node right here. So you can see the node is where the leaf grows out of. I'm just going to clip it at an angle like so. All right. I'm going to pull this leaf off. All right. So this leaf, it doesn't have any of the stem on it, so there's no chance in it reverting, or I mean growing. So I am just going to root this in probably just water, and hopefully, since I cut it back to where there is still some variegation, this will promote the variegation to grow again. So that's what I've heard, but we'll find out. So that is this Hoya, either variegated Chelsea. I don't think it's a Chelsea. I think it is a Crimson Queen, just because it doesn't have any divots. And Chelsea will typically have like 6 divots in the leaf. So Crinkle 8, I think, is a combination of a Hoya Chelsea and a Hoya compacta. So yeah, so we're going to propagate that in water. Set this to the side, and I'll get it watered here soon. Okay, so next up, this is the smallest pot I have available. This is a 1-inch difference, I believe. So this is a terracotta that just has glaze on the outside of it for decorative purposes, but I have this guy right here that is just busting at the seams, and I really want to repot it. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's impossible to do anything with a toddler, I swear. One sec. Okay, so I'm going to up pot this into this one, and hopefully it's happy in there. I'm kind of nervous to up pot it, but it's like busting at the seams. So again, I just want it to be so that way. Use a little bit more. That the top of the soil. Yeah, that's good. So this one, it's like so ready. Like, see what I mean? Like this was pushing against the side. So the roots were starting to come out the top of it. This one doesn't necessarily need watered. I water this one when these get a little bit squishy. This is like the only succulent that I've been able to keep alive, except for my hens and chicks. I just feel like this is such a big pot for this guy, but it's really not. It's only an inch difference. So it looks so small in this now, but look how cute it looks with this mint pot. So that's a really cute pot for this guy. So hopefully he likes it in his new home. So that's that one. All right, what do I want to do next? Let's do this fern. So this is a maidenhair fern that I got. It's Acosta Farms fern. I mean, it's exotic angel, whatever, but it said it was a rosy maidenhair fern. I don't know how accurate that description is. I haven't seen any pink come out of it. So I want to give this a bigger pot though. Not necessarily because it needs it, but I mean, it probably does. I want it to get bigger. It's a really beautiful fern. It's very delicate. The leaves are very, very delicate. And I just want it to get bigger because this would be a beautiful fern to have on my front porch next summer. So we are going to up pot it to this. And this is about 1/2 inch bigger. So I think that's going to be perfect. But as you can tell, I like this color of terracotta or cement, whatever. I got these from Myers, pretty cheap. Maybe a little bit much. Perfect. I'm gonna give it a nice little squeeze. I did recently water this one, so yeah. And I'm basically just backfilling it now. And I'm going to give it a light little press. All right. Cute. This looks like a much better size. Let's go with the string of hearts. All right, so this is my string of hearts. It has a very long trail. So if you guys watch my office houseplant tour video, you know that this one, it's just not doing good on the top of it. As you can see, it's just not doing the greatest. This is a very, very dense soil mixture. It's mostly spag from what I can feel, and it's just not necessary. So these guys don't really get deep roots. These guys don't really get deep roots. So what I want to do is I just want to put it in a different pot, for one, that has a more well-draining soil that is going to like a lot better. So I'm actually going to use this one. This is a glazed ceramic pot. The inside of it is not glazed, which I'm very thankful for. Sometimes I will take sandpaper and I'll sand around the edges of it because I don't want it to be glazed, but it does have drainage, so that's good. We're going to take this hydrogen peroxide mixture, spray it on the inside, and if it bubbles up, like it starts to get fizzy, that means that there was bacteria in here that it killed, which this one's not fizzing, so that's good. Where's my paper towels? So I had succulents in this, and I left it out in direct light, and I completely burned my beautiful, I had a large hen and chick succulent that was just took up this entire thing. Like, it grew a lot in the time that I had it, and I left it out in direct light, and it burnt to a crisp. The Hawthoria survived, and also the little teeny tiny hen and chicks survived, which was impressive. So those are repotted over there, which you should have seen at my outdoor houseplant haul. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to repropagate this, basically. So we've got a good soil medium. So the thing about propagating is that you want your soil to be a little moist. So I'm actually going to get a watering can. Okay, let's do this. So I got my watering can, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pre-moisten the top of the soil. It's just easier for propagating. It really is. So what I want to do is I want to propagate. So what a lot of people do with propagating string of hearts is they'll just put it on top of the soil, and then eventually it will root from the original mother plant. But since this one has some issues, I'm going to just pull it out, cut off the dead, and do my best to encourage a fuller pot that's not bald on top, because balding is not attractive. What I'm doing now is I'm feeling around for any more of those bulbs. I'm not feeling any more. So this soil is officially no good, so I'm going to dump it, and then I've got this nice little nursery pot. So that's exciting. The bottom just fell off. All right, so I do have some strands that are ready to go. What I want to do first, though, is I want to plant the ones that have the bulbs, because this is where I'm going to get majority of my growth, and this is going to be the healthiest part of the plant. But you guys, these literally just look like little tiny white potatoes. That's what they look like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my finger to find a spot for it, and I'm going to just lightly cover. And what I want to do is I want to encourage more rooting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this newer growth that's right here. I am just going to lightly press this into the soil, trying hard not to cover up the foliage completely. And I'm just going to do what you would do if you were propagating it from a hanging basket down into sphagnum or into the new potting medium. And I'm just going to look at how big these leaves are. Gorgeous. So if you see any aerial roots, I would just go ahead and tuck those in to the soil. I do still want it to appear to be trailing though. But these guys do really, really well in bright lights. I actually have a small bucket of string of hearts over on that shelving unit I have. I fast forwarded through the untangling portion of this because that took a hot minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a spot for this bowl, which I'm just going to put it right in the center because that's where I have my newest bald spot section. I'm just going to lightly press this into the soil. I'm actually going to, once I'm done, I'm going to take a little bit more soil and just lightly put it on top of this, and then I'm going to put more water on it because I want to make sure that I'm covering where the roots are going to come out, so that way it'll root a little bit quicker. So I do have some sections over here that are partly dead, I should say. And I'm just going to pinch those off and put the healthier pieces there. So like this part is dead, but there's a really nice healthy section once you get past this node. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pinch it off. That's trash, and I'm just going to tuck this into the soil, and then this will root. Again, there's a dead section right there. I'm literally just going to pinch that off, toss it, and then I'm just going to take this leaf off, and I'm going to try and get it up to that node. Just using my finger to place it, and then I'm just going to lightly tap on top of it. All right, I'm going to fast forward through the rest of this. So I think that this is going to be good for this section, like for this particular pot. I do have quite a bit left that I can repot, but there's a lot of foliage in this now that it's got a fuller top, and it was very much trailing. So what I'm actually going to do with this is I'm just going to use the string of hearts that I have over there. I'm going to pull it over here, and then I'm going to add this to that pot to make that one a little bit more fuller. Some people like to pin their string of hearts down when they propagate them with like bobby pins. I've heard mixed reviews on that. I've heard that it's bad to use bobby pins, that you don't want to use anything with metal to propagate, but you know, I've done it. It works. I don't know, but I do have a couple here that I can use. So I am going to do this. I'm going to pin it down just until the roots are there, and then I will actually take the pins out. So if you guys have a really good reason why this is bad, let me know in the comments. You know, like, I'm learning still. Like, it's like we all make mistakes when we first start out. So I'm going to set this to the side. Dump out some of that excess water. All right, so I'm actually going to set this to the side somewhere. And I'm gonna get that other string of hearts. So this is my other string of hearts. As you can see, it is trailing. I do have pins in this. It's been putting out a lot of new growth for me. It's happy out here. When I remember to water it, it's happy, but it definitely needs watered. Anytime I come out here to water, I make sure I water this. I'm pretty sure it's the terracotta that's just sucking all the moisture out of it, but I mean, it's not that bald on top, but I do want it to be a little bit fuller, be a little bit more traily. I think this is actually a different species. So this one's a little bit more of a red background, and this pot particularly was more of a green background. So apparently I'm going to be mixing them, but whatever. I just realized I wasn't recording and I was talking to nobody. So I am repotting my Teneke rubber tree right now. This is the one that's in my office. It's on my desk about 4 feet away from a south-facing window that's covered. So I hate the potting medium that this is in. Oh, there's a little bit of bark. Like, they're a very minuscule amount of bark. This is mostly sphagnum moss. Sphagnum moss holds moisture. I don't want to completely take away all of this potting medium because I don't want to upset it too much. Because, I mean, you guys, this stuff is just crunchy. Crunchy. I don't like it. Some people will repot when the soil is wet. I prefer it to be dry. I haven't had too many issues with repotting dry. Mostly, I might lose a leaf. Like, this one's already not doing too hot, so I'm probably going to lose that one. Like, it's probably just going to be like, you are the weakest link. Bye. All right. So, a little bit more. These guys don't have the thickest roots from what I'm seeing. I mean, it's a rubber tree, so I'm assuming that the roots will get thicker as it matures. Oh my God. I just want this top layer off. I hate this top layer. Like, look at the roots that are coming out the top here. So this thing needed a new pot. I'm just gonna shake it. Oh, look, and you can actually see the sheath of the, from where they grew it from seed, probably. This potting medium is just so dense. I'm sorry, but when I water something and the water just sits on the top, it's too thick. And you would think that growers and nurseries would know this, but then they charge an arm and a leg for it, and then you have to repot it eventually anyways. Arm and a leg, meaning I spent $20 on this guy, and I got my Teneke that has 1, 2, 3, 4 stalks coming out of it for $10 from Home Depot. So that's all I'm going to, so like here's the root ball. That's all I'm going to take out of that one. I'm gonna grab this, fill it up with some of the soil. So this is a much better, well-draining soil. So I put a little bit in, and I'm gonna just set it like this, and then I'm gonna backfill it. And I think it's gonna be much happier in this one. Cutie! So I went and got the bigger pot that I needed for the palm that I'm gonna be repotting. And they were on my front porch, and I opened up my front door, and I've got 3 packages that are all plants. So I'm probably gonna be doing a planty unboxing today. So that'll be another video. So we'll save the variegated string of hearts for last, just because you just watched me mess with string of hearts for a very long time. So next up, I am going to do my ponytail palm. I'm actually going to separate both of these bulbs because I don't want this one to kill this one off, because that is what's going to happen. Like, this one's just going to take over. Eventually this one will die off, and I don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these out the best that I can and separate, and yeah, repot it. I really don't want to do this. Okay. Okay. So you might be like, Maggie, why are you complaining so much? Why don't you want to do this? Because this is my husband's plant. He's supposed to be taking care of it, not me. But you know what? That's life. Paper plate. We're just going to pull it out. I'm going to put it on this paper plate. Move this over to the side. Lay this down. And I am going to try to separate these. These roots are crispy. This is going to be an exception to where I'm going to moisten the roots because this guy's thirsty. They hold a lot of moisture in their trunks. So when it gets a little bit squishy, from my understanding, is when you want to water it because they hold on to so much moisture that you don't need to water them very often. But when you do water them, you want to make sure you do it thoroughly. I sit here and try and separate all these. This is going to take literally all day. So I'm just going, maybe I'll cut them. Might do that. Hopefully this doesn't kill it. If anybody is cringing right now, like because you know I'm doing this so wrong and it's going to like be detrimental, let me know in the comments. I mean, it's a learning experience. So we'll see how it goes. But from the research I did, aka YouTube videos I watched on the ponytail palm, this is literally the best way to do it, to separate. Okay. So now we have one root ball and we have 2 root balls. Set that to the side. I'm gonna put this one back first. We did lose some roots, but you know, it's life. Hopefully it doesn't kill it. If it does, sorry, Brian. I'm actually gonna take some of the soil out. This is my soil mix. And then these guys are gonna get a thorough watering. So from my understanding, you don't want the bulb to be completely covered. I don't know. I'm gonna shake it, get the dirt to go down a little bit. All right. Ponytail palm. Boom. Fin. All right, ponytail palm number 2. Ponytail palm dose, almost fin. I want to knock it a little bit, make sure that it's good and in there. All right, yeah. Ponytail palm 2, fin. So my variegated string of hearts has been in the nursery pot that it came in since I've gotten it, which was like 3 months ago. She had it in a good potting medium, but right. I need water. All right, pre-moisten the soil. This comes out of my tap. I have a well, so I don't have to worry about all the chemicals that are added into the city water, like extra fluoride and all that. Okay, so this is my variegated string of hearts. Let's do this. All right, there's one itty bitty bulb. There's 2 itty bitty bulbs. And I am just feeling around to make sure there's no bulbs. Like, I just found this in here, and this is a wire, like a little metal piece of wiring that she put in there. So I'm just, like I said, feeling around, make sure there's no more bulbs. Okay. Yeah, I spent $30 on this. Pretty pissed when I got it. But, you know, I'm doing what I can. If you guys have any tips on how to make your variegated string of hearts grow faster, let me know. This right here is all of the new growth since I've had it. This one's got 2 little bulbs. So we're just going to make a home for them, cover them up really well. So I paid $30 for 3 strands. All right. What I'm actually going to do, I think, is I'm just going to wrap this in a circle and see if it roots a little bit more than what it has. And I think I'm gonna put it in brighter lights to promote more growth and more pink in it. So I'm probably gonna change the location of where this one is, which is currently in my office. I think I'm gonna put it in my bedroom window where I have like mainly my propagations, just because it gets such good light in there. So there is my very small pot of variegated string of hearts. I mean, it's a stunning plant when it's full and beautiful. I'm just wish it was already to that point. So hopefully this will promote it to be full on the top and to be a lovely trailing specimen. Boom. All right, so here's all the guys that I just repotted. I am going to water these guys. Well, some of them I'm not, aka the string of hearts, which I just watered, and the succulent down there. But I am going to water the rest of them because they are thirsty bitches. And I want that to, see how well that drained? That's what you want. You see how it just soaks down? It's already seeping out the bottom. That's what you do. And then I'm gonna, after I water all of them, I'm gonna go back through and do a round 2. See how I'm going slow with it though? This is how you want to water. It's not a race when you water. You want to make sure you get all around the plant and let it sit, and then let it seep out the bottom, and then go in for round 2. By the way, this is an indoor-outdoor carpet, so it's totally fine that it's getting wet. All right, do the oxalis. Beautiful. If you see my feet, I'm sorry. Hoya. And this fern, maidenhair fern. All right, you guys, that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed the content and that it wasn't too boring for you, but I like watching repotting videos, so I figured it'd be something that other people like too. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so that way you can stay up to date and alerted when I post new content. I am just making videos as I do things with my plants and posting them, so it's been getting to be about a video a day, which is exciting. But yeah, so like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.